another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is. Game, set, and match.
Go.
Hello and welcome to the 2024-25 APTA Tour. We're live from Hyde Park Country Club in Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing you the 2025 Midwesterns with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corient. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, High Grain Brewing Company, River Hills Bank, the Summit Hotel, Total Platform Tennis, Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe, and Viking. I'm Guy Moore, along with Steve Sullivan, bringing you the men's semifinals between Andrew Ong, Philippe Rams, and Tyler Fraser. And who do we got there, Steve Sullivan?
Hey, guys.
Tyler Fraser, and Mr. Eric West.
Yeah, we got interesting matchups. This looks like Eric West, the lefty serving on the far side, serving from the deuce court. Right here is Andrew Ong in the hoodie, the light colored hoodie with Philippe Rams in the deuce court. So yeah, best 2 out of 3 match. Long day for these guys, but looks like they're going to lean in for an enjoyable Saturday evening match here.
Yeah, too, Steve, Eric West and Tyler Fraser, they have played a few tournaments this year. I mean, they had a great match in Chicago at the Charities against Salazar and Regalado. And I tell you what, Eric West, his overhead is devastating, especially when he, at this temperature as well. Tyler Fraser moves forward so well. You have to watch on his backhand side. He loves the backside. Andrew Ong moves forward as well. He's a guy who loves transition, and Rams is the same way, Philippe Rams. It's going to be a cool match, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be slow. I think it'll be fast, even though this point right here to start it is kind of letting everyone get involved. But what do you think, Stevie?
Yeah, so I was in Baltimore. This is the, these guys have won two tournaments already. They won in Baltimore, and they won the Bourbon Ball. So, I would think Tyler Fraser and Eric West sort of have some momentum going into this match. It's very interesting in Baltimore. They ended up really slow in the first round, almost lost a first-round match against Stojic and Grigorovich. I think that was a 6-4, 7-5 in the third. Really, really tight. I think there were some points that maybe should have justified them losing that match. And then in the finals, they end up playing Nunez and Salazar in a really good battle. And they just looked comfortable. They were, as you said, bringing offense. Eric West has a lot of weapons. Not only is he kind of unique as a lefty with some of his overhead spins, as you mentioned, but these guys have a lot of tools. And I think on the other side of the net, obviously Philippe Rams, a ton of experience, and Andrew Ong, one of the most patient defensive players, but, has some weapons of his own. So I'm hoping for some offense, right? It's late on a Saturday night. I'd like to see these two teams go out and try and win it. But, let's see how they start. We're 2 points in.
Well, too, Steve, you have Fraser and West. Both of them have offensive overheads when they want to hit them. They could cut them. They could slash. I mean, Eric West, his overhead from a lefty perspective can carve you up. Rams, again, just kind of recapping what I said a moment ago, loves to move forward and play quick. So, and so does Fraser. I mean, Fraser likes the vertical movement, from kind of north to south. And when I say that, I mean moving forward and then transitioning back, just quickening up the pace. But it's Like even there, Fraser missing that, I like that play. I mean, that's because he's going to blitz behind that if he makes it.
Yeah, just working his way in. Yep.
Absolutely. You'll see, too, something that's interesting with Ong. It's kind of strange, you know. I mean, it's just character with him. Watch his left hand, Steve. It always stays low, or most people hitting overheads have that left hand up high. And even when he's in the backcourt, he's almost like kind of a cool squash player. I mean, that left hand just kind of stays uninvolved. It's kind of strange, but it works for him. It's
most typical is that Statue of Liberty, that typical trophy position.
Exactly.
You get your shoulders rotated and you kind of uncork into the ball. But you're right, he kind of faces. He's a little more open and facing the court.
No, it's cool. I mean,
it's his style.
No, yeah, exactly. I think it's cool. I mean, it works for him clearly. But you know, as the match goes along, you'll see. And when balls get behind him on that backhand side of the court, he has a great knack to just flick balls out and disguise it as well as he hides it, you know, so you don't really kind of know what's coming. And so you see here Fraser starting to light it up a little bit with a little sizzle.
Yeah, great dig. Covering this left court, going back here, we got it again with Philippe Rams just scraping that ball off the court.
Yeah, and that's not that easy. I mean, he made it look easy. It's not at all. I mean, grabbing a ball behind you. And by the way, too, Steve, he changes his grip, moves it way over to the left, beyond Continental, just to flick that ball back over.
So this I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just looking at the draw. So this is actually the fourth match of the day for Ong and Rams. I'm not sure for Andrew Ong it's an issue. He's one of the fittest guys on the tour. Fraser West did have a bye, and a couple routine matches getting here to the semifinals, a 1-1 and an 0-3. Ong and Rams, yeah, they had a couple tough matches. You know, Bishop and Hantak in the second round, 5 and 6. And against Kotet and Zerbib in the quarterfinals, another tiebreaker in the second set. So they've played a bit of paddle today, but like I said, both Rams and especially Ong, these are young, fit. You know, Andrew Ong's a very young, fit guy, but it'll be interesting. 4 matches in a day is still tough on everybody.
Yeah, and it gets, you know, these guys have been hanging a little bit, waiting for the match that, you know, was just called to finish. I mean, it's not really physical. Sometimes it wears you out mentally, you know. It's a long day. And there's what you'll see, and that's the huge benefit that Fraser and West have. They both have offensive overheads where they put a bunch of spin on the ball, but because they're righty and lefty, you have to pay attention all the time because the spin goes the opposite way depending on who's hitting it. Even at this level, Steve, I mean, it's just, you can't take a moment off because if Fraser's hitting it and spinning it, it's going to go one way. If West is hitting and spinning it, it's going to go another way.
Yeah, they're playing it both ways. This point, you know, West and Fraser are a little more patient, pushing these, you know, high lob overheads sort of into the back of the court. But you're right. It'll be interesting to see if they show a little bit of a strategy of where they're looking to attack. I think they're just kind of mixing it up at the beginning. But look at that. Yeah, a lot of movement and a little bit of nick there.
But, and I have to tell you, Steve, too, from watching West and, well, when I watched West and Fraser play in Chicago, they started out with, and great, I mean, that's what Fraser does. I mean, he's just all over the net and is ready to move forward and volley when he needs to. But, you know, when they were playing Salazar and Regalado in Chicago, West started out hitting the majority of the overheads. And by the way, I mean, he had 50 overheads before they even had a chance to win a point, maybe more. So then they would go to Fraser, and then Fraser would go to Regalado in the ad side. And it just breaks down the positioning. It's very taxing. In a match like this, I look for West to hit more of the overheads. And as you can see here, he's lining up looking for his backhand. He's got a huge backhand weapon. Let's see what happens here. Let's see where we go with overheads. You can see that West, this is what I would have thought, but Steve, wouldn't you say too, as a lefty-righty combination, especially at the net, especially when you have teams that can spin the ball like West can, huge advantage to lefty-righty teams?
Yeah, I think it, it's a huge advantage. If you have a strategy, it's a huge advantage. Sometimes you get stuck in the trap that you have two forehands in the middle. And if you're playing a little bit looser, there's a little bit of just assuring, like who's going to take that. Sometimes it depends on who you want to attack, right? The do side or the ad side. But I mean, there's not a lot of us around. So the lefty spin does trick people up, and especially the ability of someone like Eric West to mix it up, side, backside, heavy spin, or letting the ball drop really low, which he has the ability to do as well. I think it's that 1 out of 10 matches that you don't always see it. So definitely advantage to Eric West. And like you said, when he lines up that backhand, it just kind of looks scary, doesn't it? I mean, he can absolutely rip the backhand.
Yeah, but even here, I mean, you could see, I want to say kind of definitively that West is going to hit the majority of the overheads. Here, look at Fraser moving off to his left. So you're seeing that they have a plan, and I do. Look at this. Yes. So, I mean, I like it a lot. Look at that. I mean, it's just clear who's going to hit the overheads, and that's how our lefty-righty combination plays the best.
Yep, I agree, and I think, Andrew Ong's a little bit more defensive, right, than most, so they can sort of take their time. He can cover for Tyler Fraser on, those ones he almost moved off the court, and then kind of pick and choose his spots when he really wants to move the ball. But yeah, I think you're right. This is likely going to set up to be an offensive, left-handed driven match probably from the beginning.
Well, you know what the cool thing is, Steve, is that what you want to see, right or wrong, from a tactical perspective is, hey, do you have a plan? And it's clear to see from a net scheme perspective that Fraser and West have a plan. Whether it's good or bad, and it's been good so far, doesn't matter. The fact is, if it's bad, at least you know what to adjust from, right?
Yep.
If it's good, hey, stay at it, right? If you don't have a plan, you don't know what to adjust from. That's just as simple as it could be.
Yep, totally agree. So some nice firepower, close contact at the beginning of this point, settling back in.
Fraser West, they lead the first set.
Not afraid to pull the trigger. Great little move forward there by Tyler Fraser.
Yeah, so when we talk about Rams and we talk about Ong, right? So Rams is one of the best players in the game at moving vertically, moving forward, and quick hands and getting engaged in those hand-to-hand combats. None of that so far, right? So I want to say he's not in his element, but he's not doing what he does and likes to do well. Ong also likes to move forward and surprise you, especially when he's playing the ad side, coming off that backhand and moving forward. You see West there just duck. I mean, he wants no part of that. Right?
Yeah, good Andrew Ong just tracking that ball. He did a little pirouette there, but followed it all the way in.
You didn't want any part of that, did you,
Nope.
Steve?
No, I'm on the side screen at that point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm out the gate. Yeah. You would be trying to tug me back in, Steve.
Yeah, they can have that for themselves.
Yeah.
But it's, Andrew Ong's very methodical. You can see him both at the baseline. Nice little move there by Tyler.
And
Just
I tell you what, Tyler Tyler Fraser picks and chooses when he can do or when he does exactly what you just saw. If he thinks the matchup's in his favor, he will get engaged in those hand-to-hand combats. If he doesn't, he's smart enough to just hang back and let it come to him.
15 all.
Tyler, why'd you do that?
So interesting.
Why'd you do that, Tyler? I just built you up, Tyler. What do you mean?
He took that shot. Obviously, it was a big cutter he went for, but they also sort of stayed. Andrew Ron got stuck in the ad court. I think they were going to try and, play him over there for a little bit, but he just didn't let that play out.
To be honest with you, I think that was a cool cutter by Fraser. He just didn't execute. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, he wasn't off balance. He was on his front foot. I mean, it was a shot to hit. He just didn't hit it. It's all good. Wow.
40.
So that's you mentioned, Guy, that shot earlier. Andrew Ong's got the backhand, and he also has this kind of sliding slice. He turns really well all the way around, and just can do a number of things with that ball. There, he ripped it. But he's got a nice slice down the line as well.
Well, that's what I was saying, Steve. I'm glad you brought that up again. You're so right. And that's why I was bringing up Andrew Ong's left hand. I have to chat with him, but it's almost like he's a really, really good squash player because he lets that hand drop, and I mean, he lets the ball drop into his sweet spot, and he hits it so well. But that's what a lot of really great squash players do. I mean, that left hand, again, watch this. His left hand's never up. You see it?
Yep.
If they lob Rams, you're going to see his left hand up. Ong had the hand up a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, it's not a good or bad thing. It's just interesting to note, I suppose. You see Rams' hand up?
Yep. Statue position.
Yep.
Fraser's Fraser's definitely looking at those spots where he can sneak in. I think he's trying to find the ball, tracking towards Ong, and smartly took his medicine and moved back.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if you're going to get into the transition game, you got to know when to go forward and when to back up. I mean, because, Steve, when you transition forward, you're in a space, right? And am I in an offensive space or defensive space? If I'm in a defensive space and someone volleys the ball right back at me, I move out of the way, guess what? My partner's going to cover me. And that's exactly what happens. They call that ball out?
Yep.
Ong's. Fraser West lead the first set 2-1.
Pretty important game there for Ong and Rams. I felt like the match was speeding up a little bit, but they, Philippe Rams got a couple of those points. I think he likes to use his hands, have a little bit of firepower at the net. He didn't win all of them, but I felt like the momentum of that game is a little bit, suiting the Philippe Rams style. So he's going to serve from the near court, blue hat, serving to Eric West.
And you're right, Steve. Rams is one of the top 5 guys in the country in terms of transition and quick hands and being involved in those hand-to-hand combats. I mean, that's his style, that's his play. And by the way, in the early rounds of tournaments, even though the men's side is so deep, look at that. I mean, look at Fraser. I mean, just a stud at hitting a backhand volley at his right hip. You saw that, right, Steve?
Yeah, just so composed as well. He slid in, unexpectedly, but just really has a nice foundation. Well, Philippe Rams tried to turn the table on him there.
Well, I mean, that's what these guys do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get involved in this type of back and forth, I mean, Steve, my question to you is, where do you see this match going? Fraser West or Rams Ong?
The winner. You want me to put a stake in the ground?
Oh no, I don't want you to draw a line. What I want you to what I want you to answer is, if it goes quick hands vertical like this transition, what team do you think has the advantage?
Yeah, I honestly, so far in this match, I really like the movement of Tyler Fraser. I think he's coming in very calm and composed. He's looking to move in a lot more than anybody else. So I'm gonna say this is gonna feed to their benefit a little bit more than Ong and Rams. I think, while Rams is accustomed to it and he's one of the best at it, I have a feeling that Andrew Ong is going to be the recipient of a lot of the firepower and the opportunities that Tyler Fraser's been looking to take and is going to keep taking. So I'm going to say it's going to support Fraser and West, because I think Eric West is going to have his back, and cover him if it doesn't go his way.
Yeah, no, it's interesting too, because I think you take Fraser and you take Rams. I mean, I think they're pretty similar players with how they like to play. I mean, they both have serious sizzle on their overheads. They both have unbelievable movement forward and transition, right? So it's going to come down to which one of those two plays the best doing what they do well. Now, the wild card in this is you got the lefty and West, and you have unbelievable spin that he could put on the ball. So I think that's going to be the difference maker in this match.
Really nice hands. Tyler Fraser just kind of slid that ball into the...
Yeah, no need to sneak up there.
Yep. Got a little bit out of position.
Yeah, no need. Notice too, Steve, Ong's base when he volleys. I mean, it's about as wide as it could be. And look at him moving off to the right to let Rams hit the overhead. Look here. No miscommunication. And by the way, did you see Ong just dive back to the middle?
Yep.
So that means, hey, if you're going to drive it, I'm all over the net. So, I mean, that is a huge lesson on how to play in the stagger from two righty standpoints. Look at him. He's off the court. I mean, perfect.
And putting all the faith that Philippe Rams is going to put that ball in the right spot. He's not going to expose them. But if they do, get a drive, like you said, Andrew Ong was 2 quick steps, putting himself right on top of the net.
Well,
he moved a little bit too far to the right on that one. I like the forward back level, but I think he just slid over a little bit too much. He wants that backhand volley.
You know what's crazy is you're right. I mean, he was in the right spot, but he turned. He just needed to stay square like a hockey goalie. I mean, he turned, and the ball's going to go right when you do that. When you stay square, look at his base right now, Stevie. That's what I mean. If you stay like that, the ball's not going to go right. You can volley forward. Steve, you got a base like that? Do you got a base like that?
I don't even like, thinking about how my hips would feel if I tried to play with a base like that. So no, that's maybe
Stevie,
25 years ago.
No, I want to see a base like that. Yeah.
That's the level of fitness that I don't think I ever had. It's nice to claim I might have, but
what do you mean? You got that fitness, Stevie.
It's
look at him. Look at Ong now. Look at Ong though. Look at his base. I mean, all kidding aside, you see he's the catcher, right? The ball's coming to him 100 miles an hour, and he's just letting the ball come to him. He's not reaching out to volley. I mean, and those balls are hit with tons of RPMs and pace. Is Ong ever going to put his left hand in there, Steve?
I'm seeing a little bit of uncertainty about who's taking all these overheads. It looks like Andrew Ong's waiting for a switch, or he's sort of waiting for Philippe to maybe. There's been a couple where he looked over, but yeah, that hand's not going up.
I don't know. I think they. The thing is, I think they have a decent net scheme, but I tell you what, what I'd like to see from Rams and Ong is Rams in the overhead position because of this. You're going to see it right now. You're going to see the juice. He just has a lot of variety that keeps pressure on Fraser and West. That Ong's overhead's not bad, but I mean Rams' overhead's just
exceptional. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, you see how he lets it drop, and not only that, I think he likes to control the tempo and hit the ball with the spin that he does. Look, even like that, there's a little cut on there. And Ong's doing a great job of sliding out of the way. He's going to the gate. Here we go. Be careful. There you go.
Oh, he got out of there. Luckily, I thought Ong should have let that ball slip through, but got out of the way, thankfully, the last one.
Well, Fraser, again, going back to what I said a few games ago, Fraser's very good at picking and choosing when he comes forward. And he's also very good at picking and choosing who he's coming forward against. He's not going to come forward in a bad matchup. He's going to come forward in a matchup that favors him. Tell you what, though, Ong and Rams, great job. I mean, and a question for you, Steve, too. I mean, as big as Tyler Fraser's return is, do you ever throw in a situation, even though you trust your serve, of serving and staying back just to get into a big point like that? What do you think of?
Absolutely. I'm not sure I've seen enough that would make me tell Philippe to stay back, but this is a, especially in, the fitness these guys have to chase balls back and allow for a transition. If someone's ripping returns, it's cold. It's cold. I'm not sure how cold it is tonight, but if that ball's sitting up and someone like Fraser's ripping it at your feet, yeah, let it go. I think he had that one on his paddle, but it'll be interesting to watch. Certainly the rolling underhand serve sometimes is a little bit of a benefit in the cold weather if it can stay low.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, with that sidearm serve. I mean, you saw it like 3 years ago. Everyone wanted to try it out and throw it into their games. But, I mean, it's kind of gone away. I mean, I could name, I don't know, 5 or 6 players that actually use it anymore. And how about on the women's side? Does anyone use it over there?
No, I think you're right. It was a bit of a fad. Everybody liked the roller, but I think it's just not as versatile as the overhand serve.
I think what happened at the high level is people said, oh, I'm going to try this. And in the beginning, everyone's like, oh, my God, he's got a roller serve. And it was a big deal. And then everyone figured it out. And they're like, you know what? The risk reward on serving that way, I mean, if you don't have a full Western grip and you don't trust it and you don't have paddle head speed, not a good serve.
Yeah, and you can lose it fast. It's just not as dependable, and certainly under pressure. The guys, I think Ryan Baxter was using it earlier, right? But he throws in a fault a game. Maybe not a fault a game, but pretty close. Durant and Mitchell were doing it full time, and you could see when Johan, he would just abandon it because at some point it just feels a little different. You're right. You need racket head speed. You need full confidence and just swing away at it.
You know what's weird is because I think when you hit that, you're hitting it with the mindset that the ball's going to come back no matter what. When you're hitting the other serve and overhead serve, it's not that you're trying to hit a winner. You're trying to win the point. But with that underhand sidearm serve, you know it's coming back. Someone's going to make contact with it. You're not going to hit it past somebody. So it's just a different mentality. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Steve?
Yep, 100%. 100%. I think, maybe one of the reasons why, it's gone away. Certainly the last year and a half with, Nunez, Salazar, Regalado, Enrique Rodriguez, like there's a whole new class, of big tennis skills, hitting an overhead serve that's moving a couple screens off the back. So I think you're right. It takes some of the offense away, and it just defaults you to being in a bit of a defensive mode.
Well, it makes you feel like I'm only getting into the point instead of hitting a serve. Like, what do you think about the big lefties in the game, like Ordoya? I mean, his serve, especially on the deuce side, does it always go to the side screen? 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And then the ball dies. Why would he ever hit a sidearm serve? It makes no sense.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so his serve is a weapon because you have to pay attention to it and you have to make sure you're in the right spot and you have the right grip with your paddle and so on and so forth. If he served underhanded, that negates all of that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. Good point. So a big game here. Ong and Rams really dug deep. I think they had 3 or 4 game points to make it 2-2. They didn't get it. I feel like stay in this set. This is a pretty critical game.
So what I think right here, Steve, is Eric West should be hitting more of the overheads, just ripping them up over towards Rams' position, because his overhead, especially at this temperature, is nasty. I mean, the stuff he was hitting at the charities was absolutely ridiculous. And Fraser's overhead is amazing, but I just think that.
Well, this is a strategy because you can see there's a lot of, pick 'em balls down the center. So it is attack Andrew Ong seems to be strategy number 1, which.
You are right, which is different from. Yeah, I mean, even there, you see Rams just pushing the ball straight ahead. So that tells you that this is different. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, he gets one big putt, and Andrew Ong can't keep it on the paddle face. Yeah.
So that's exactly why I was saying to you what I just said 20 balls ago. But maybe, hey, Stevie, maybe that's the template. Let Fraser hit a bunch, and then West carve one up, back it on. I mean, not a bad idea either. I mean, cool strategy, right?
Yeah, the lefty overhead to the ad court or the righty into the deuce court. That cross court, if you let it come down low, that's a killer. Really tough to pick up.
Well, you know who does that better than anyone, and West obviously just did it there, is Nunez.
Yeah.
Nunez goes 2 or 3 barrels to the deuce side, and then he crushes one into the ad side, and it's not even a cutter, it's a slider. I mean, the ball comes off the snowboard.
Yeah.
It's silliness. It's absolute, Stevie. It's absolute silliness. I mean, it's so far next level that, I mean, it's just tough to defend even at the highest level.
But here they go back.
So watch what happens here. Let's see what happens. Let's see when West takes one. Here we go. There it is.
Generate 2.
You see what just happened?
Yep.
I mean, did we just call it?
Did you know that volley has thrown 5 million balls to players working on their game? Don't get left behind. Get your reps in with a volley. Whether it's day or night, you're in control of your training. Volley offers world-class training on demand, helping you sharpen your skills and level up your game wherever it fits your schedule. Ready to join the movement? Start training smarter with Volley today.
Yeah, so Steve, I mean, as we went into a little bit of a commercial break there, I mean, we were talking about the combination of balls, and that is the template for West and Fraser. And that's the variety that they have as a lefty-righty to do what they just did the last, I don't know, 7, 8 points, right?
Yep. It's interesting. If they've, they're clearly trying to find Andrew Wrong, but I love the concept of, sometimes you think about the best overheads are the ones that have variety, side, back, side, different pace, different location. But yeah, that ball that's floating down the middle, the ability to sort of completely change it up, one dimension, 20 shots in a row, and then throw in a completely different pace, a completely different spin. I think we saw it three out of 6 points, so pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is a big game too here. I mean, you have Fraser West win this game. I mean, it's always tough to come back from 5-1. All right, let's see where West and Fraser go here. I tell you what, it's interesting too from West and Fraser why. I mean, they can win in so many different ways, but Steve, have you ever seen like that, like this? I mean, that overhead that West can hit. I mean, it's pretty devastating when he puts a spin on it like he does.
And I like the last tip.
Watch what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is just beauty.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't understand. I mean, I feel like they could win this match with that happening a lot. But, and he...
Great communication.
Wow, great core coverage.
Oh, he wants that back. He wants that back. West's overhead, as much spin as he gets on it, he's a little bit open like Broderick, isn't he? He's almost open, facing the court. He doesn't quite go into that Statue of Liberty trophy pose where he could really uncork like an Araya or somebody who's really sort of twisting into it. But he's just got the ones in that last point that he let drop below shoulder height, just deadly. It's just a beautiful technique.
I was just going to say to you, I agree with absolutely everything you're saying except for the fact that he doesn't let enough balls drop because when you're reaching up to hit that overhead, you have to work a lot harder. When you let it drop, you show the same thing, and the spin's very different based on how your paddle makes connection with the ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, it's just a lot less taxing. The higher your swing is in swinging down and through, I mean, the more you have to work. So that's why Broderick's overhead's so good. You agree, Steve?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you could even do a drill with Broderick, and he could hit 20 overheads, and you're like, what's next? I mean, because it looks the same.
Yeah, he's changing pace, contact position, but it just the way he faces it, you don't know what's coming at you.
Right, and that's the thing too, is that he could hit 100 of them and it doesn't wear him out because of where he's letting the ball drop to.
Oh, love that. Great hands by Philippe Rams.
So good. And that's where Rams is amazing. Look at this. I mean, just deception, holding it. I mean, so good. So Guy Moore here with Steve Sullivan. We have Tyler Fraser to the left in the white sweatshirt, white hat. His partner, Eric West, lefty, hitting the ball right now. Philippe Rams over with the blue sweatshirt, blue hat, playing with Andrew Ong, who never moves his left hand above his shoulder, which is all cool. Right, Steve?
Playing in his T-shirt like it's summertime.
It's true. It's true, man. I mean, he just look. That left hand is just so good, so cool. Look at it.
So I don't know, guy. Is he a squash guy? Like
I don't know. I don't know. I
don't
need
know
to.
either.
I need to go out to dinner with him. Look at the left hand. It never goes above his shoulder. It's so cool.
So
Is it true or not true?
we're gonna find out. But
Well, look at it. Has it yet in the last 30 balls?
But that is a squash. You know, my son started playing squash in high school, and he was a tennis player, and he started showing me this crazy crossing of his arms with his backhand slice, and I'm telling him it looks goofy. But it is a thing, like really low center of gravity and kind of keeping that balance with that other hand. I don't know if he's got a squash background, but it could be. It's very interesting technique.
Listen,
Even here, it's just a little bit out of, you know, the classic forehand in tennis where you put the hand up and you kind of keep yourself balanced and help you, you know, cork. He doesn't have that either. It's just really passive, that hand. Nice move there by West, but Rams put it in the right spot. All right, big game.
I'll take one.
So Tyler,
right.
Fraser serving up 4-2, first set.
All right, who's hitting overheads this game, Stevie? Talk to me.
I think they're going to switch when they can. I feel like there's a Fraser primary role here. I don't think it makes sense, but it seems like that's what they were doing at their last service game. Well, they lost position, so we're going to have to wait a second to see it.
Well, it didn't matter to that point, did it?
So we have Ong in the ad and Fraser's forehand here in the middle. My prediction on this point is that they're going to set up a slow point with Fraser going to Ong until West decides to get active. So let's see what they do.
Oh, so
They
Fraser.
They switched on me.
Okay.
So now we go the opposite.
Is West going to get active right here, Stevie? Let's get active. Let's go. Here we go. He's getting active.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very active. Let's go. You like this, Steve, or no?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think this is the way to play. It's interesting.
I think
right off the bat.
Look at Fraser. He's out the gate. I love this. This is bingo. Good or bad, it's a plan. So everyone in the building can see this a style of play is so good. And by the way, Fraser and West are saying, hey, we're going to hit our spots, and you have to beat us like that. You have to force it. Exactly.
Nutmeg. Yeah, I love the move by Rams.
Oh, it's a great move,
Yeah.
but I tell you what, I mean, how many people can let a ball go between their legs and do what he just did? I mean, great move by Rams. And you know what, Rams? He loves that.
And I like him moving over to take that big cut.
Yeah, it's
It
awesome.
just shows that they're thinking differently, and obviously he's got a big weapon in his forehand, so this is a nice tactic the last game that they're trying to introduce.
No, there it is. Okay, so how many balls was that point right there, Stevie?
30.
What do you mean?
50.
30, yeah, 30 times 3. I mean, how
Yeah.
about 100? But Fraser and West stayed true to their game plan, right? Which is so cool. They just said, hey, we're going to make you press, and there was a drive miss. Look at
He
this.
stayed off it. What a nice spot by Fraser. I don't know how he didn't touch that net, but he didn't touch it. Let's see it.
Oh,
Doesn't touch it. No movement on the net. Fit guy. I would have ripped it down to the floor. Let's see what happened. I didn't see. Oh, his feet just didn't get underneath him.
Go right back here with West and Fraser doing what they've done so well. I mean, they have to. I mean, it's been so successful. But, this is where it becomes interesting, Look, now Fraser's hitting all the overheads, right, Steve?
Listen, they're tracking. Nice move. They're tracking Andrew Ong, which, it's one strategy. So far, in theory, it's working based on the scoreboard, but they're dependent on who's in that side of the court. I think they like Fraser attacking the ad, and they like West attacking the deuce, but it seems to be, switching back and forth based on where Andrew Ong is, which, again, I think Andrew.
Hey, let's watch
I guess
here.
I should say, I think West should be doing it in the deuce court here as well. I'd like to see him attack Rams a little bit.
I agree with you.
But he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it.
Well, you know what?
He doesn't want it. He's got.
Listen. It's cool that they have a game plan.
Yeah.
And, from Andrew Ong's perspective, he's got to know, hey, everything's coming to me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. There they go. Switch. I love that switch. Now let's see what happens.
Now they switched. They switched too.
Okay. Hold up. All right. Is Eric going to hit all the overheads now, Stevie?
Great move. Big up and down. You could see it coming, and Fraser's been really selective about where he puts that ball, but Andrew Ong saw that about 4 steps before he made contact.
So this is an interesting conversation. You ready, Steve? Ready?
What do you got?
So what you said, they're tracking Ong, and they're playing him no matter where he goes, and then switching who's hitting the overheads. But does that trump the strategy? Meaning, should Eric West be hitting more of the overheads because of his lefty spin and just no matter who's over there, follow through with that? Or should we adjust to what they're doing? I don't agree with that. I think you stay with a strategy and don't worry about who's in that corner. Let's just decide who's hitting overheads, especially as a lefty-righty combination.
I agree. I don't think there's a major difference. I think you go with the strength, which is the Eric West overhead, versus the player. And obviously the last 6 or 7 points, Andrew Ong has stepped up his game quite nicely. There he goes. Oh, that was the one. But I think I agree with you. I think I'd go with the shot and keep West attacking the deuce court, mixing up his spins. Yeah.
Well, remember too, Steve, as a net team and with the scheme, right? Even though as good as everyone is, you have all these different ideas. Like wherever Andrew goes, I'm going to play it there, and you're going to hit overheads in the middle of the point. That's not that easy to execute all the time. It's just like, hey, you're hitting volleys, I'm hitting overheads. Let's play in the stagger as a lefty-righty. Let's stay with this like this right here. Stay with it. Stay with it. Don't deviate. Look at Fraser moving to his left. I mean, let's not go against what we're talking about as a tactic and a net scheme. Let's see what happens right here. You see what's going on. Okay, Fraser dumps the ball right back. That's smart. All right, move it back to the left, and here we go with West again. Smart.
There he goes with the big one.
It'll come. And by the way, the overheads that West is hitting are very extremely taxing. I mean, they're making it look easy. It's not easy. That's a smart play. Go behind, and then they move back right to the left.
Yeah, this is. I think Rams is going to be exposed to some of those behind, getting hit behind. But so far, he's covering the court nicely.
Well, so from a tactical perspective, when you're talking about Ong and Rams on the baseline, and when they see a clear pattern that West wants to hit the overheads into Ong, what do you think they're trying to do? They're trying to make the overhead move over to Rams.
Yep.
They're trying to, they're trying to make the ball move like that. I mean, it's going to break down the positioning at the net. I think that's a good move too, with Ong and Ram switching sides. Now, what's going to happen here? Let's see what you said. Hands. I mean, maybe it does stand true. Do you think Fraser should hit more overheads now, or West?
I think West should, but I think Fraser's going to. So let's. And opposite, right? West is not moving off the court.
I mean, I 100% can't disagree with you. If I did, I would have to be off the air right now, wouldn't I, Stevie?
But it's.
No, it's interesting.
It's interesting. I like Ong and Ram switching just to make them play a different tactic. They switched right from the back. They chose to switch. Now you don't have Rams forehand, I think Rams is weaker in the deuce court because his
Listen. It's kind of a cool approach. I mean, you see it, and you said it earlier. They're just tracking Ong. I mean, Andrew Ong's an unbelievable player, but at least they know what they're doing, right?
Yep.
I mean, they do. I mean, they know as a lefty-righty, you have to 100% know who's hitting the overheads. They do, because they say, look, if Andrew Ong switches to the deuce side or he's on the ad side, that's who's hitting the overheads. I mean, that's it, right? That's what we've seen, right?
Yep.
That's what I've seen. Here we go again. Another example. So having said what we've noticed, right, what adjustment do Rams and Ong need to make?
I like the simple adjustment of, switching up in the middle of the point. I think that's a new look for Fraser and West. It makes them rethink their strategy, makes them, change the tactic in the middle of the point. I mean, I don't know that there's anything, significant. You talked about in the last point, what they're going to try and do from the baseline is, when West is attacking the deuce, they're going to try and lob, Fraser and see if they can move him further and further to open up the court. I mean, it's just a game of tactical patience when you're in the backcourt.
Well, I say this too, from a Rams and Ong standpoint. When you have a team, a lefty-righty team, who is looking to play, say they're just looking to play everything in Andrew Ong, which good or bad doesn't matter. We'll lob the ball in between them and make them fight over it, right? Because there are two forehand overheads in the middle of them, right?
Yep.
So make them fight over it, even with the low lob, even with the lob that isn't as high, even with the gray lob, make them think about it, right? Go back to when Broderick and Christian beat Regalado Salazar. Where did they lob the ball? You remember that match?
I mean, were they lobbing over Christian, trying to do the same thing?
No. Where did Broderick and Christian lob the ball? They lobbed everything in the middle because Regalado Salazar are so good at playing side by side, but they lobbed the ball through the middle so much that there was just confusion. So someone's always going to be off the net when they get a loose ball, whether it's 10 balls into the point, 30 balls into the point, 50 balls into the point. It doesn't matter. You just got to break teams like that down. So you know, you have Fraser and West who have done a great job in this match so far, tracking Ong, and I say that respectfully to Andrew.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's such an amazing player, but clearly that's what they're doing, right? How about that base? You ever have a base like that, Stevie?
It looks strong. I'm going to say that much. It looks good.
Go Deuce.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
Steve, I want
playing with
to
fire
see
in
you.
there.
I want to see you with a base like that.
Yeah. Not at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night, that's for sure.
Steve, it's 8:10. So
8:10.
on 8:10 on a Saturday night, I mean that base is extremely strong for you.
But you asked me what I might do differently. That's not the one. But I think, yeah, if I'm Rams, and Andrew Ong showed it a couple times in the last few games of being a little more opportunistic, blitzing, moving forward. I like them taking more chances. I like Rams trying to create opportunities. Obviously, if they can't stay tight in a match, they're going to have to try something a little bit different.
15-40. Love 40, sorry.
Yep, love 40. So triple set point here.
Triple set point. And Rams was clearly aiming at the nick there, which he's so good at.
Okay, he used his hand a little bit on that one.
I was going to say.
Not on that one, but that one before, it went straight up.
No, he's used it also. And since I said it, I think he had an earpiece in.
That was kind of nice. That's for that solid base. Yeah, that solid base there. He just kind of held his ground and covered a lot of distance there.
Smart play by West. And you see Fraser just leave that right there, Steve.
Let it go.
Let
it go.
He's only looking for one ball there, the one that's right at his chest. You didn't even see him flinch, right?
But West was there, and it's a great move. It's a great. Of
course.
I mean, as people like myself, the more the club player, you want that volley. It doesn't matter where it is, but that was sort of textbook advanced net play. You know, if you don't get the one you want, your partner's got your back. Let it go. That was a really nice look there by Fraser.
I tell you what, even though it's 5-2, it doesn't feel that way, right, Steve?
No, it doesn't. It's gotten very competitive in the last 3 games. I think we mentioned there was a 2-1 moment of time where Ong and Rams had 3 or 4 game points, and they just lost a little bit of momentum. But the last few games, this is do sad games.
Steve, too, watch the positioning of a Rams and Ong. I mean, they're playing in the stagger. You see Ong up on top of the net and Rams kind of hanging by the service line. And you see Ong sliding to the right. Ooh, see that much.
Fraser
All right, Steve, that's our first set. We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CSM Media.
Want to see how Volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of Volley. Experience firsthand how Volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
James thinks this is going to be a quick in and out for a water valve. But what James is about to realize is that there are tons of different water valves. Hundreds, in fact. Do you want half-inch or a quarter? Globe or gate? Chrome? Brass? PVC? What even is PVC? Sounds fancy. Oh no, we don't need help. He's a grown-up. Wait, James, where are you going? Oh, not again. You could be like James, or you could just call Roto-Rooter.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We are here at the 2025 Midwesterns in Cincinnati, Ohio, with this semifinal match between Eric West and Tyler Fraser, partners, playing against Philippe Rams and Stevie Sullivan. Who's Philippe Rams' partner?
Andrew Ong.
Andrew Ong. Yeah, Philippe Rams and Andrew Ong, great team, right? I tell you what, they've had a great run to the semis here. And, Eric West and Fraser, seasoned team. They had a really, really good round at the charities. I mean, they had a great match against Regalado Salazar. And, it's just interesting to watch two teams that are kind of similar, right, Steve?
They're similar. It's a closer than 6-2 set, I think, that we just watched. There was a lot of set, right?
No doubt about it. I mean, and you have players like Fraser and Rams who like to play kind of similar to each other. They like to move forward. And then you have like an Eric West and you have an Ong who like to set it up. But Ong is deceptive too. I mean, he moves forward when you least expect it. So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, great athleticism. I think the second half of the first set, Andrew got a little more active. I think he caught Tyler Fraser off guard a couple times and took the net away from him. But let's not forget, Fraser and West have won 2 tournaments this season. Baltimore, they beat Nunez and Salazar in the finals. They also won the Bourbon Ball against Baxter and Murphy. Eric West has leaned in incredibly hard to this season. He's become one of the premier players in the game. Lots of weapons. We talked about his lefty cutter, that you're loving guy, but he's got a huge backhand. Big tennis skills. These are, Tyler Fraser and Eric West are a premier team this year, probably, looking to be one of the teams to beat in the Nationals, and, maybe just a little bit for our viewers. So this year, the Nationals are back in Philadelphia. We have a 20-week ATPA Tour season, 4 Grand Prix. The Nationals are this year March 7th through 9th in a little bit of a different format. They're going to start, this year on Thursday, March 6th in the afternoon. And the intent is create a big Saturday night lights main event for the finals. So Sunday is being reserved as a weather day, but they're going to try and do it from Thursday to Saturday. Really exciting. So registration opens up this week, January 15th at noon. 64-team men's draw, 64-team women's draw. There's also going to be a challenger draw on the men's side. And just like the Grand Prix last year and as a lot of us have experienced, Philly puts on a great event. So, yeah, this year Nationals come to Philly. And I do think Weston, Fraser are going to be one of those teams that nobody wants to see in the quarters, that's for sure.
Well, West and Fraser are one of those teams that could win the Nationals 100%. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts. And I think they're also one of those teams, Steve, that the more they play together, the better they get. You take a team like Regalado Salazar, and now we're talking about different tactics, and I'm not even sure what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. I mean, those guys have been so good, Regalado Salazar, that you can't expose yourself and play every tournament all year long because people learn how to play you. You following me, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you take a team like even Nunez and Powers, they haven't played that much. They're so good. I mean, they won the Nationals last year. They're so good. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, with the job that the APTA has done and everything they do with live stream, people watch that. Players watch that. They learn how to play you. They learn tendencies. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just, hey, you know, you expose yourself that much, people are going to learn how to play you. And that's exactly what Broderick and Christian did with Regalado Salazar in the last time they played them. And, you know, there's a lot to be said to sitting tight and playing the tournaments you need to play. I mean, I tell you what, Durant and Mitchell have done the master of that. They don't play 500 tournaments a year. They play the amount of tournaments they need to get their seeds. They do. And then they walk into Nationals. I shouldn't say walk into Nationals, but go into Nationals in the position they need to be. I mean, the game has changed, right, Steve? The game has changed where seedings are so important because the draw is so deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good point. It's, 64 draw. I mean, there's not an easy match. Last time I played Nationals was 2017, and it was first come, first serve, right? So no longer the case. Every team in the Nationals can play. These guys are going to battle from the first round, pushing off that really tough match till the quarters or the semis. I think you're right. It's huge. And I do really like going into this year with a little bit of, last year was unique with the onset of Salazar and Regalado, and of course Nunez pairing up with Powers late in the season. But yeah, Rams.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Rams and Ong are a good team. But yeah, Fraser, West, Humphreys, Osas, Koenig had a win in Westchester this year already, so they're back. McNerney and Morgan have won 2 tournaments this year. I think this year's Nationals is setting up to be a potentially interesting, unexpected result. Which you know what? You couldn't be more right, Steve. It's just wide open, and you know what? That's exactly what we all want. I mean, that's it. And the cool thing is, if you thought about it years ago in terms of partnerships and who played with who, everyone kind of stuck together. And these days, it's not that way. Like, you see Rams playing with Ong, you see Humphreys playing with Bentheim, and not necessarily having to play with his consistent partner. I mean, it's cool, and that's what I mean, because those are all different matchups. I mean, you at the end of the day, you probably sit down and say, hey, I'm going to play Nationals with you. Stevie, you and I are going to play Nationals, but during the year, we're not going to play 20 tournaments together where everyone learns how to play us. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yep. And then, look at Broderick and Christian. I mean, I think you're right. There's probably 5 or 6 teams that likely have a shot at Nationals this year, but it's become a great season, but it's a long season, right? 20 weeks. I like the fact that people mix it up and take some weeks off because it can be a lot. But, tendencies get learned. So clearly, there's going to be some teams that everyone's going to be looking at this year, like Regalado and Salazar, that they got a lot of pressure on them.
Well, the other thing, too, is it goes It goes even in from a club level. I mean, Steve, if you and I played at the club level for 5 years in a row, I mean, we're going to get a little stale. I mean, even though we're best friends and like to go out to lunch afterwards, I mean, the fact of the matter is it makes you better to play with different people. And it makes the matchup different. And that's the cool thing about it. So even at the highest level, you have partnerships that, I don't know. I mean, you could look at it, right? I'm not going to say it, but on the women's side, on the men's side, you could see the partnerships that have been successful and then the ones that are kind of going to the wayside, so to speak. Like, you know, these guys used to win all these matches. These ladies used to win all these matches, and all of a sudden they're not. Or they're not beating the teams that they used to beat. You got to mix it up.
Yeah, I love the mix-up. I think on the women's side, there have been some different pairings this year, like at this tournament. Allison Morgan's not playing with Charlotte Sakura. She's playing with somebody else, and I think she did as well maybe in Detroit. I think it makes them better players, right? I get stuck with the guy I play, Stuart Linus in Baltimore.
Don't talk about Stuart.
We get stuck in routines.
Hold on, Steve. Don't talk about Stuart.
But it's fun to mix it up and play with different people and play different sides of the court. Like I tend to like the deuce because I'm a lefty, but man, could I use some practice on the outside. So yeah, I think it's good for the game as well. And it's such a social game with such good relationships with all these guys. I think it makes it a little more fun to, come at a tournament with somebody different.
All right, Steve, when do you think West is going to juice one of these lefty overheads?
He's
coming
ready.
up.
Here we go.
And by the way, too, something that's interesting. I mean, you got a lefty righty here, so you have two forehand volleys in the middle. But there it is. West's overhead. That's the one that causes problems. And he didn't even put that much spin on that ball, by the way, Steve.
No, he's been going backside, and that was just one of those balls you let drop really low. Nice move there, and put it on the side screen. Just didn't come up.
Nice.
I tell you what, too, from the other side of the court with Ong and Rams, I would love to see Rams just starting to put a lot more spin on his overheads and just say, hey, if we're going to lose, let me lose being aggressive. Because right now he's pushing a lot of balls, which isn't the end of the world, but I still feel like Fraser and West have the advantage with his tempo.
Not bobbing.
Rams is so good at just putting so much spin on the ball, but he's not doing it at all right now.
There's Fraser. Pirouetting his way out of this point.
He's just waiting for a hard backside. Watch this. If it comes there. He's sitting on it. As soon as it happens, he will rip a backhand down the line about 100 miles an hour.
All right, back to deuce.
Philippe Rams serving. Eric West, lefty. On the deuce side, his partner, Tyler Fraser. Andrew Ong hitting overheads with his left hand in his pocket. His left hand's starting to get up there a little higher, isn't it?
It is. There you go.
Oh, that was good. That was up there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, he's listening to you. Great player, and Andrew does a ton with the APTA for the players, and really done a lot in support of, there's just been such a uptick in these events and Saturday night barbecues and bands and trying to make it more fan friendly, not only the live stream, but I know as part of the tournament committee that puts on Baltimore every year, we absolutely try and do things that make sense for the players as much as for the audience. But Andrew's a big part of, giving back a lot of time to make sure the players are heard, and certainly helpful.
Yeah, that whole Baltimore crew is great, isn't it, Steve?
Good community. We're trying to, we're growing. My club's finishing up the installation of 3 new courts this week. So the Rolling Red Club where I play has been investing a lot in paddle. We'll have 6 courts, and the Baltimore community, both the men and the women, it's really growing. We maybe have a long way to go with some of the other more mature historical communities, but the Baltimore Open's great. The Larendale Club that hosts it does a great job. One of the centerpieces of paddle in the Baltimore community. So, it's been great for all the people around Baltimore to, lean in and see the best players come into town every year.
All right, so here we are, 1-all, second set. Fraser West, 6-2, first set.
I'm not sure which was better, the topspin lob by Philippe Rams or just the read by Andrew Wrong. That was a great 1-2 punch there. And I think that's what they need to do. I think look for more opportunities. You mentioned you'd like to see Rams taking some bigger cuts at his overheads. I agree. You're down a set, 8:30 on a Saturday night. Why not, mix it up and try and make something happen? So I think we're going to see a little bit more offense from that side of the court this set.
Yeah, I would say on both sides. I mean, I think West needs to be hitting more overheads, and I think Rams needs to be doing the same. I mean, look at the last 3 points. I mean, we always say, hey, with paddle, 75% of the points still in with the first 3 shots. I mean, those last 3 shots or the last 3 points are a great example of that, right?
Yep.
Even at the, look, there it is again, even at the highest level, right?
Yeah, that's the right move. He's just got to execute there.
Serve return, volley. All right, who's going to hit overheads here? They're switching. I tell you what, West could hit a lot more spin on his overheads than he has been.
I agree. I totally agree.
I don't understand why he's not hitting more spin on his overheads. Maybe he doesn't need to. I don't know.
All right, so let me do another little read here for a sponsor. So Roto-Rooter, headquartered right here in downtown Cincinnati. Roto-Rooter has been a dedicated sponsor of the Midwesterns tournament for the last 10 years. Roto-Rooter is North America's largest provider of residential and commercial plumbing, repair, sewer, and drain services. And special thanks to APTA member and Roto-Rooter president Robert Goldschmidt and his team for their loyal support. So I as good as West overhead is and has been, I feel like he's bringing 75% of what he's got. He's had a couple really nice heavy cutters, but I think he's got a little more in the tank.
I agree. I mean, I watched him. I called the match courtside in Chicago and watched him hit overheads. It's absolutely crazy what he could do with the spin on the ball. So, who knows? But maybe he's just waiting for the next level. I mean, it's a crazy good overhead.
Crazy good, but second to Nunez, or do you like it more than Nunez's lefty?
I don't like anything second to Nunez when he hits. Listen to me though, Stevie. When Nunez goes bang, bang to the deuce side, and then he goes just, I don't even know what I want to call it, to the ad side. I don't think it's even I think I just want to call it a slider. I mean, the ball doesn't come off the snowboard. Do you agree with me?
Love it. I think it's one of the newest. There it is from Rams, a little bit on his back foot, but I think it's one of the shots in the last 2 years that's really created some great new looks and new offense. I love that shot. A lot more people are playing it, but when Nunez does it, you're right. It barely gets above the snowboard.
So
Just
you know it.
killer.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's a killer. It's a killer.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's not.
Rams had it a little bit there in the deuce court. Yep.
To be honest with you, it's not even a conversation. I mean, the guy does it better than anyone. And the funny thing is, before the Nationals, that finals, or actually the semis that I called there in Boston, I watched him warm up for 30 minutes. I was just standing there. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what he's going to do. And he did it to the template. I mean, when I tell you, he waited until the right moment to hit that slider back to the ad side. It was, and the success rate was, I mean, almost 100%. And by the way, you can't do that as a righty. It's lefty situation. You concur?
Yeah, I'd like to think I concur. I've seen some of the righties do it. It just, there's something about, and maybe it's the low center of gravity of Nunez that he's got the 5'7" advantage, but it is a beautiful swing.
Aren't you lefty?
I am. I mean.
Okay. Listen, I need to build you up, brother. You're with
I
me
need the
on
ice
this live
pack.
stream.
I'll need the ice
You
pack
and
for that.
Hold up. You and I are a package tonight. We're on this live stream together, so we got to figure out a way for you to make that combination happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll do it. Hey, otherwise, we'll just say it did.
I need to set the volley machine up to give me that low overhead and hit 50 in a row, but then I'll be out for a month trying to recuperate.
Okay.
And it's interesting. Last season with Regalado and Salazar, they slowed the game down a ton and they went big into the push. That type of just defensive push volley instead of hitting overheads, and it is hard. It's hard in your arm, and so you see the old style of Juan Araya hitting 100 of them. It's hard, and it's some wear and tear. But Nunez has that shot. It's nice to see something a little bit new and different that's been brought to the game the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's and not only that, I mean, Powers and Nunez, what a great team. Two great people too. How about that?
Yeah, great. It was a great marriage with those two. Whoever came up with the idea to get them to play with each other, that was a great.
I think I did, Steve.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, if you believe that, I got something else for you. All right, so here we are, 2-1, Fraser West. They've won the first set 6-2. It's 30-all in the second set. Andrew Ong serving. I tell you what here, Steve, this could go either way.
Yeah, I like the energy. It's a tough time for a fall, but I like the energy with Ong and Rams. I like the opportunism. I think they're both trying to make a couple more things happen this set, which, hey, you got to do something different.
Why do you think? Because it's 8:40 at night? I mean, what do you think?
You're only going home after this no matter what, so why not take a swing at it? So I like their energy, but let's see where it takes them. It's interesting, Guy. The first set, it seemed like there was a lot more repetitive points that were being played. We kept saying who's taking the overhead here, who's taking the overhead here. The momentum is a lot different in this set. Obviously, these guys are needing to change the momentum, but I felt like I understood the first set a lot more than I can predict what's happening in the second. It just
Yeah,
feels
that's
different. It feels different.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it, and to be realistic, it's almost 9 o'clock at night. Everyone's playing paddle, and they've had a long day, and I don't know. I mean, your decision-making process can be a little different.
And it's a mental game, right? It's tough to.
For sure. And by the way, these points are going to continue to be quick like they are. They're not going to be slow. If they're slow, they're going to be 1 out of the next 10. I mean, it's just not how it's going to be.
Rams.
By this point.
Yeah,
By this point, it's going to be a long point, but the last 3 were quick.
That was a matrix move there.
Yeah, his left hand was in his pocket too, right, Stevie?
Game on, Rams. Second set tie, 2-2.
All right, knotted up at 2.
Interesting.
Eric West in the black vest to serve.
Yeah, that's quick switch backhand I was talking about with Ong. I mean, did you see that backhand, Stevie?
Yeah.
I mean, he just snaps it out of there. It's unbelievable. And look at him here. He's just loading up on his backhand right here. Ball goes in his backside. I mean, he's just going to crush that. Are they going to switch or stay, Steve?
They're going to stay.
You think?
Well, nope. It looks like Philippe's signaling that he wants to switch it up.
Okay.
A little more than just looking for the forehand. But I like, you can see, I mean, Rams is looking for an opportunity to do something different.
Ooh.
Maybe should have left that one.
Maybe. What do you mean? What's maybe me? 100%?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Andrew's.
I like that little edge from Ong. I like that little edge. You like that edge?
Yeah.
Just a little edge, Stevie. You just got to give a little edge sometimes with the backhand. Pull them in.
And that's the sneaky one. He's got that flick.
Flick, exactly. Yeah. A little Federer flick. That's what I mean. That's why the edge is good. Watch what happens here. Like that. In the first rounds, that creates a volley error, but now it doesn't. I tell you what, I would say I don't understand why West isn't hitting more crazy overheads. There's just not a lot of overheads to hit, right?
They're keeping it pretty low. There's maybe not a lot of overheads, but
like here now, this is where we need to get juiced up. See what I mean?
Oh, you're so much better than that one. Come on.
That's what I mean. I mean, West needs to be hitting more overheads like that with the juice. I mean, he's got so much, and it causes so much confusion. Here we go.
Oh, I don't like that
Why?
decision. Don't
Why?
like
Yeah.
Huge
I mean,
point, too. Really kind of a big point.
Yeah, I mean, he just. Yeah, move on,
I
right?
think Ong and Rams were both in the blue as well. They're kind of sitting there. I'm not sure there's a risk reward that that one made a lot of sense. But it's a mental game. It's 9 o'clock at night, right?
Well, you're right. I mean, they're still playing Andrew over here. I mean, Andrew's battling. He's doing a great job. But, I mean, they are clearly playing that side of the court. No.
Fraser West lead the second set 3-2. They won the first set 6-2.
Corient is the official well sponsor of the APTA's 2024-2025 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com.
Yeah, I tell you what, Steve. Corient, one of our great sponsors, as well as Volley. APTA has got it together with the sponsorships and even the live stream and everything that's going on. It's amazing. It's really cool to be a part of it all. You agree?
I agree. I think from the events to the live stream, obviously not only having these flagship sponsorships with Volley and Corient, but week in and week out, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast all the ones supporting us this week in Cincinnati. It takes a lot, and the APTA has done a great job really building this, taking a great culture in a sport and really building some good infrastructure around it. So, kudos to the team at the APTA, but huge thanks to all our sponsors.
All right, sir, here we are. 15 love, Fraser West, 3-2, second set. You got Philippe Rams in the light blue, hitting overheads. You have his partner, Mr. Ong. Tyler Fraser on the ad side over here digging. And
love this camera angle. You can kind of really see.
Yeah, there's Eric West. Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a battle. I mean, the score does not represent this match, right?
No, this set feels, what a
Wow.
absolutely split.
Great shot by Fraser.
Middle there. Yeah, no, I think we said it before. The first set wasn't really a 6-2 set. We had a 20-minute game at 2-1 where Ong and Rams probably had 4 game points, and then they got behind that big break and just couldn't kind of crack back into the set. But a lot of deuce ad. Definitely, this game's getting away from them, but there's a little bit more energy in this second set. I feel like Ong and Rams are trying to put a little bit more pressure. Oh.
Yeah, they're running now.
But you got to make it. All right, Tyler Fraser serve 4-2. It seems like that last game went really fast, so let's see what Rams and On can do here.
Get out of there. Gordy. Nice ball.
15 love.
Not sure if that was a forehand or a backhand, but Eric West absolutely ripped that one. Drifted off camera for me a bit. All right, 15 love.
And this is where, Steve, these guys just get rolling, right?
Got it. Shorty. Get up. You.
Wow.
Yep. Switch here.
Switch back here and yep, there it is, right?
You know, I like the move by Fraser. He kind of got stuck, but it's interesting, guy. In the first couple games, Fraser was on his toes, taking steps forward every other point, and it's, you know, maybe they felt like they haven't needed to kind of put that pressure, but he's obviously got the capability to you know, move forward. Got great hands, just like Rams. Really, really good hands. And I like the moves, but Andrew kind of kept me honest on that one.
I mean, Fraser's move forward is crazy good.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Steve too, this is where, you know, the time of the evening, the match could kind of go either way. I mean, it could go Fraser West just take it over and finish it off, or Og and Rams make it long and boring, and all of a sudden they win it. Yes or no?
Yeah, I think they are clearly not trying to make it boring, and I just feel it's a little bit too much on the Fraser West side of the net. Anything they try, I don't think they're gonna turn this one.
I do agree with what Rams just tried to do there, though. I think that's what he needs to do more. I mean, I think he needs to be more aggressive like that.
Oh, just held his ground. Great.
Yeah, that hand-to-hand combat is. Fraser loves that. Watch this. I mean, he's so good at it.
Yeah, the challenge with my level of play is that you may take that ball on the chin. These guys are so good and they respect each other so much. He just held his ground, put his paddle there, and the reality is, you know, 9 out of 10 times you're going to get pretty close to it. At my level, you never know where that ball's coming. So you see the club player just absolutely retreat. But Tyler Fraser, he did the right thing. He just kind of kept his foundation, put his paddle up, and yeah, incredible hands.
40-30.
What do you mean, Stevie? Your level? You're a stud. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm running for the hills with that ball because half the guys I play with are going to hit me in the shoulder, the ear. No. You never know where it's coming.
Stevie, you and I have to play together. We have to live together. We're good, you and I.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Okay,
yeah.
We're good. We're good. You and I are good.
Yeah. Great touch volley.
And that's the craziness how things can turn quickly. 40-15, all of a sudden it's deuce now. I mean, Rams is so talented to do what he does. All right.
I got it. Take the dude. No, thank you. Switch.
That has been Andrew Ong's, biggest success, reading that up and down.
Wow. Look at that back and forth.
Yeah, I love it.
Notice too, Stevie, how Fraser moves to the middle when the ball goes over to his partner. I mean, it's just the drift, right? You see the drift?
Yeah, they used to teach us when you're playing doubles, pretend you got a rope tied around each, and you just kind of need to move as a team and fly together as a team. It's really nice to see. I mean, Fraser and West are gelling this year. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, they're covering each other. There it is. Fraser slides over, looking for the net. He's there to help.
See that? It's so good, right? Isn't that cool?
So good.
I mean, it's just a template on how you should move together on the baseline.
Yeah, get out of there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of that cross court slider.
I go. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got two righties, so it's a little different, but it's cool. It's a lot going on, I'll tell you that. That's what Tyler's looking for right there. You just saw it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it again. He'll go right down the line at the forehand of Ong. Longest point of the match, right?
Longest point of the match, and obviously it's a big one. It's even though they're down 4-2. Oh, just caught him right on that hip. That was a big point.
Right. What do you think is going to happen here, right here, Stevie?
I think it's going to be a short point.
I tell you what, that serve from Fraser getting into the side screen, that is one unbelievable serve, man. Yes or no?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
So good, man. That is not an easy serve. And he hit that with a ton of confidence. All right, who's going to hit overheads here, Steve? Call it.
Yep, all Eric.
All Eric, okay.
Keeps Rams honest. Give Fraser one just to make him feel like he's part of the point. Oh, there's another one.
By the way, you and I, for the last 100 balls, had to say nothing because that is amazing. Stevie, that is so cool to show what discipline is. Is that discipline or not right there?
Yeah, I mean, they've clearly had a strategy. The match got a little muddy in the beginning of this set. It looked a little bit like there was less structure to the points, but that when you watch a point like that, there's so much to sort of learn. Yeah.
Let me interrupt you and interrupt you in an unbelievable way. Who hit all the overheads there, Eric or Fraser?
Eric. That's what you wanted. That's what you wanted.
So that's what I wanted, but it's not even what I wanted. It's just a game plan, and they said I'm willing to hit 100 balls until someone makes a miss, and that's exactly what we saw. How cool is that?
Yeah, very structured, disciplined point.
Yeah,
Tyler hit two overheads just to kind of keep them a little bit balanced and not let Eric get out of position. But yeah, that's a point where Eric just said, I got 70 in my back pocket, and I'm going to just play all 70.
So cool, man. Don't you think?
Yep. Now it's just down set 5-2. This could be a quick game or a very long game. So that tells you, that miscommunication tells you I'd like to see Eric West absolutely unleash into the deuce court against Philippe Rams just to sort of see that,
so good,
talented,
right?
so talented, and he just waits. He's waiting.
Well, I mean, I saw them play Regalado Salazar, and I mean, he was just unleashing that. I mean, it's crazy good how unbelievable that lefty overhead is.
No, it's about Bob. Come on, better. 30 point.
Yeah, they had to ask. That was only 278 balls in that point.
Yeah, man.
First point.
Wow. That is crazy good.
Yeah, good spot. I like going back to West there.
I tell you what, Stevie, if you think you could have covered that drop shot for me, I'm going to say negative. And if I could have covered it for you, that's 100% negative. Yeah.
Honestly, five shots in a row were about the best shots of the match.
Well,
and,
Stevie, you would have been in Connecticut. I would have been in Naples, Florida. We're nowhere near each other. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We like each other.
You gotta love Tyler Fraser saying, "Get it, get it."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like saying all day. Puts a lot of pressure on that guy, all day.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
That was a pretty impressive dig.
So tomorrow, after this match, I mean, it's a semis, obviously. 5-2 Fraser West over Hong and Rams. I mean, we want this to go all night because we love to be here, sitting here, and I mean, it would be cool. But tomorrow we have the women's finals at 9 o'clock a.m. and then the men's finals at 11 o'clock a.m. Right, Stevie?
Yep. The draw says not before 10:30 for the men's is what I'm looking at the moment, but I think you're right. Let's take another look at the live draw on the APTA website. Yeah, women's final, 9 a.m. Halbauer Jackson against Cruz and Matrica. And
Cool.
men will follow at about 10:30.
All right,
Not before
great.
10:30. Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right, so you got Stevie, you got Fraser West, 30 love here, 5-2 in the second. What are we doing?
We're playing one more point after this one is what we're doing. Let's see.
Okay, 40 love.
I think Tyler should relax and unleash a return here.
15, 40.
Really?
Nice stick volley by Rams.
Everybody's playing defense here, aren't they, Stevie?
Yeah, doesn't feel like a 6-2, 5-2, 40, 15 point.
No way. So good. Ooh, that was such a good look, right?
Good luck. And he really just tried to get it on the court, but that was a tough ball to handle.
Great look. All right, here comes Rams, juicing it up. What's he going to do here? I don't know. Steve, what do you think? Ong and Rams' new team, that Rams doesn't hit more of the overheads where he puts the spin on it, where he's so good? What do you think?
You mean should Ong leave him a few more overheads? And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, listen, Philippe Rams has one of the best cutting overheads in the game. We didn't see it a ton, right? Just like we were talking about Eric West overhead. We wanted a little more, but we could have seen more of it.
It's what
But,
I mean.
yeah.
It's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just asking you a question. I mean, Rams overhead, his cutter overhead is crazy good. Ong, his movement forward is crazy good, but why don't you let Rams hit more of those overheads like that? I mean,
Fraser West.
this match.
They win 6-2.
That's the match.
6-2.
Yeah, fell closer than a 6-2, 6-2, but these are four of the top 20 ranked players in the country. This is as high level as we get, and as much as we are sort of trying to dissect, where to attack and who is attacking where. These are four of the best players in the game, so that was fun to watch. Enjoyed it, Guy.
Well, Stevie, so great calling a match with you. We got the men's and women's finals coming up tomorrow. You watch a match like this, it kind of goes back and forth, but it's so cool to see. I don't know. I mean, you talk about Fraser, you talk about Rams, talk about different things that are going on with their offense and whatnot, but it's cool. So, in the middle of the day, that's a wrap today. Join us tomorrow for the women's finals at 9 a.m. and the men's finals at 10:30 in the morning following that. Have a good night. Thanks, Stevie.
Want to see how volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of volley. Experience firsthand how volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
James thinks this is going to be a quick in and out for a water valve. But what James is about to realize is that there are tons of different water valves. Hundreds, in fact. Do you want half-inch or a quarter? Globe or gate? Chrome? Brass? PVC? What even is PVC? Sounds fancy. Oh no, we don't need help. He's a grown-up. Wait, James, where are you going? Oh, not again. You could be like James, or you could just call Roto-Rooter.
And away go troubles down the drain.